Just stay there. Okay. No, stay. This is not going to work. Hello beautiful bookworms, my name is Karina and welcome to my channel. So today I am here to do a tag that was created by the New York bookworm, and I'm going to leave the video link down below so that you guys can go and watch her do it, because she created an amazing tag and I really loved it. So I decided why not do it, and tag is called Astrological Sign Book Tag, and it's really fun. And yeah, I really enjoy it, so go give her some love for this tag, and I am just gonna do it because I found it amusing, so yeah. So if you see me looking at every direction in this video, it's because I'm trying to keep the sheet where I wrote all the questions in place so that I can read it and don't have to catch it while she falls off my shelves that are in this general direction. So without further ado, let's get into the tag. So, firstly, it is Aries, and it is a bookish opinion you feel so intensely about that you would fight over it. And for me, that opinion is that manga, comics, and graphic novels are a reading form as well. And every reading form, ebooks, audiobooks, whatever, is a reading form. And although I obviously do prefer to have my original firm book copies in my hands, I respect everyone's choice to read a book, and I think that it will be very cool if everyone could respect the fact that everything, even if it's not in printed format, is a book. And it would also be pretty great if people could respect the fact that manga, graphic novels, comics, light novels, whatever, are also books, and give them a shot, because people, because they don't know it, they just simply assume that it's not going to be good or that it's not a valid reading form. So yeah, I would fight you about that if you came at me saying that what I just told you it's not true. I respect everyone's opinion, but that is a point where I am not too flexible. I'm sorry about that. Number 2 is Taurus, and it is a book you know will always be in your life. And for this one, I choose the Black Jewels trilogy by Anne Bishop. I actually went to Lisbon to see Anne Bishop when she was here on October of last year. I got my trilogy signed, I got her new book signed, I got to talk with her a little bit, and I will always love this trilogy. I have reread it more than 4 times already. I love it, and I know that this will stay with me for a long, long time because it's one of my favorite books of all time in its genre, obviously, and I don't know how, I feel so much towards this book, and I am so very happy that I got him signed, and yeah, I love this book. I don't know what else to tell you guys. It's just going to stay with me forever. Third question is Gemini, a book that introduced you to a topic you now love. So for this one, I decided to choose Kafka on the Shore by Haruki Murakami, and this book introduced me really young to magical realism, which is a genre that, although I don't read a lot of it, when I do, I practically love everything that has to do with that genre. So I'm very happy to Murakami and thankful to this book for showing me what magical realism is. And if you never tried magical realism, I advise you to give it a chance, because you might like it more than it sounds at the first attempt. And obviously, I would convince everyone that I could to read this book, because this, for me, it's one of his masterpieces, and I adore him to pieces. Cancer is a bookish family you want to be a part of. And so firstly, a very big disclaimer, normally the families that I read in my books, partially because they are fantasy books, or partially because I just like deep dark topics, they normally have people dying, they normally have really bad things happening to them, so with that amount of suffering, I don't know if I would really love to be a part of some of these families. And then I thought of the Starks from George R.R. Martin's Game of Thrones, or A Song of Ice and Fire, whatever you want to call that, really. And why the Starks? Because let's face it, if you haven't read the books or watched the series, maybe you should just skip until I put this book down. But yeah, if you haven't, just mute this for a little bit, because I'm going to explain why the Starks. So, as I was saying, I know that the Starks have had their bad things, like the fact that the parents of these children are dead, and the fact that the brothers and sisters got scattered all around, and that all of them suffered horrible things like rape, like having to be beaten up every day to train to be an assassin, like getting blind, like actually getting killed and then resurrected back to life, and a lot, and actually really getting killed if we see what happened to Rickon in the TV series. I'm sorry, Rickon. The fact that they got paralyzed, everything, and the people they have lost, the thing that happened to them is really bad. But at the end of the thing, they are one of the families that are more together and more united than the rest of them. And for that reason, I would love to be a part of a family that it is that united, and that it still trusts and still is able to see the good in you, even if you are far, far away from a long, long time, and they don't know if they can trust you, but they still do, and they still are able to work together and to be together, and I respect that so much, and I would love to be a part of a family like that if I had to choose, because the rest of the families that I'm thinking about, they are good, but some crazy shit happens to them all of the time, so no thank you. Let's just go with the Starks for, for purposes of responding to this question. The next question is, Leo, a book that makes you want to take pride in yourself. And I don't really know if this is because you read it or if this is because you actually have that copy, but yeah, I'm just gonna go and answer it the way I think it is. So because I don't know what this question is about, I decided to go with two things: a book that I'm proud I have read and a book that I am proud to have. And a book that I am actually quite proud to have is this copy of Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman, because it's an illustrated copy. It's a very beautiful illustrated copy. I haven't read it yet, but I'm really proud to have it. I haven't got it. My boyfriend got it for me, but it's just so beautiful, and I am really proud to have it in my collection. So this is one of them. And the one that I'm really proud to have read is Notre Dame of Paris by Victor Hugo. I think this can also be called The Hunchback of Notre Dame in English. So yeah, I'm really proud to have read this. Victor Hugo is not known to be an easy author, so I'm really happy that I pushed through this book and that I really enjoyed it, and that I could take from it very essential lessons and messages that I believe were hidden in here. I actually did a book review for this book, so if I remember, I will leave it linked down below. But also because there were parts in here that were fairly descriptive of the city of Paris and of the architecture of Paris, and although I did enjoy the comparison that he does with the printed word and the fact that we are always building on top of something that was already built and that at that time was the best thing that was there, is that we're always trying to change, and sometimes we ruin the things that we try to change because they were beautiful in the way that they were. Sometimes these descriptions were a little bit too much, so I'm really happy that I could get through it, getting the message, and actually finish the book, and actually surviving to the entire drama and the hardness that it was reading this book, because the plot was really, really strong and really, really sad, as per usual Victor Hugo books are supposed to be, so I am very proud to have read this. Next one is Virgo, a book or character that inspires you to work hard. And for this one, basically every single hero of every single fantasy story that I read normally inspires me to change something, to be different, and to work hard. And particularly when they are very skilled at combat or very athletic and stuff like that, I always feel like going to the gym. And so let's just say that although I really like to exercise, book characters are a motivation for me to go to the gym so I can be powerful and pump them as they are and be a hero of my own story. And I know that that's not the way that you do it, and that you don't need to work out strong to be the hero of your story, but it kind of makes me want to work out even more so that I can be strong as they are. Next one is Libra, and it is a book or character that makes you think about morality. And that book would probably be The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. It's one of the books that actually made me think mostly throughout the entire book. I actually have some pages folded, which you guys know I never do. I only do in classics and my favorite author books, which is Haruki Murakami. And I folded some of these pages because they have these quotes that and they made me think so much, and it took me a little bit more than what I was supposed to, because I was very engrossed in this book, to read it, because I was thinking about some of the parts, some of the quotes so much. So yeah, Picture of Dorian Gray. The next question is Scorpio, a character that showed bravery in the face of fear or trauma. And obviously, if you know that my favorite genre is fantasy, you know that there will be a lot of those, but I'm gonna try and pick only one. And for that one, I decided to go with the members of the Fellowship from the Fellowship of the Ring, The Two Towers, and The Return of the King. Wow, that was a blank space there in my head. These characters are all just so strong, and they are all so competent, and they are all so brave in the face of fear. They are living in dark ages. The greatest enemy is awoken. He wants to control everything. The darkness has arisen, and they are all so courageous to just keep on with their quest and to keep on going forth. Even the characters that I don't even like all that much, I have to praise for being courageous and for being the best characters ever. Sagittarius is the next one, and it is a book with a setting you loved. And for this one, I'm gonna go with a short graphic novel, which is 1 Week in the Library. This is a bunch of short stories that happen in a library. So obviously I would love that setting because I love books and I love libraries, and it is so short and so magically beautiful. Just amazing. And I just love the setting of this book because the setting pretty much is not only the library, but your imagination. And if you have any setting that is better than your own imagination, you have to tell me, because I would want to read that book, obviously. Next, it is Capricorn, and it is a quote that inspires you. And the one that I thought for this one is, "Not all those who wandered are lost." And I love this quote. It has a deep meaning, and I do believe it to be true, that people can wander without being lost. And I'm not going to explain anymore why that quote is important to me. Just take your own conclusions if you want. I would actually love to know what you think of that quote. And yeah, I'm going to proceed. Next one is Aquarius, and it is a book that affected the way you see the world. And for this one, I have to go with 1984 by George Orwell. Obviously, this shocked me. I also have a review for this one, which is kind of like a rant and just a crazy thought wordament process. But if you want, I'm going to try and leave it linked down below so that you guys can watch. And my God, that I got completely paranoid, and that I got with a different mindset when I read this book. This book is amazing, and if you haven't read this, I thoroughly recommend, because this is so good and it made me think so much. I loved it to pieces. It was amazing, and it does make your thought process about a lot of things change, I promise you that. And the last one, Pieces, is a character you feel a kinship with. And I'm gonna go with Bilbo Baggins from The Hobbit. Bilbo is my spirit animal. He's just so cool. He's just everything that I want to be in my life. He gets 2 breakfasts. He is someone that loves to stay calm inside of his little hole, very organized with all his books, with all his things to eat. He likes visitors, but not in a way that it will ruin his day. He doesn't like new stuff that much, but in his heart, he wants an adventure and he wants to live something special. And he is very intelligent, very skilled with his words. He's kind of grumpy in a way, but I'm like that as well. And he's just amazing. He's small and I am very tiny, so it's something that I always feel a certain kinship with. And he's very brave at the end, and I would like to think that I could be brave as well. So I feel a little kinship with Bilbo Baggins. So I'm sorry for a long video, guys, but this is the end to the astrological sign book tag. Okay, I cannot speak. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you like it, leave a like or subscribe, and tell me down below what is your sign if you want, and what book would you think would answer the question for your sign, just if you want to have some fun. So that is all for today, guys, and happy readings to you all. Bye!